It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's County-Wide.
Good day and welcome to our program. It is County-Wide. Brad Miller with you, and this is the second of two parts, a two-part program that we're doing this week with the Yarnell Recovery Group. And Francis Lechner and Chuck Tider are here. Chuck is the chair, Francis the communications director, and again, we welcome you. I can't even think about how busy the two of you are and the entire organization, indeed the entire community of Yarnell. YarnellHillRecoveryGroup.org. It's a website we'll reference many, many times during our program, and it is kind of a clearinghouse, if you will, for folks who want to donate. And there's been a lot of you, and there'll be many more, we hope, because this recovery is something that is going to take a long time. So we'll kind of pick up. You can catch our program at vertivalleytv.com. That'd be the program we did the other day. We recorded, again, a two-part series on this, a short series. And the first one, we talked an awful lot about kind of the status and where we are and how things are coming together in Yarnell and the organization of this, what's turning out to be a very, very important grassroots effort to help the community recover from within. You folks are in the middle of that. When we talk about donations, there's been a tremendous outpouring for the firefighters and their families, and that's as it should be. But there's a community that there's more victims of the fire. No more loss of life, thankfully, but homes lost, lives shattered, and I don't know how to say this without sounding a little bit cold, but there's others that are still in need, and how do you handle that? And
what we've been touched by is the clarity with which people know exactly that. There are many of us in the community. You see the purple ribbon.
Yeah.
There's people. We're very keen that those young men died to save our community, and they did. We are going to thrive, and so what we're clear on is that they. So people are very clear. Those lives need to be mourned, and there's also very clear recognition. But these people need my help. So this is moving forward. This is the best way to, in a way, to honor the memory of those young men.
Sure.
Is to help this community rebuild itself. Yeah. So that it's been really inspiring to see the help offered to both.
Yeah.
People are clear. It isn't like helping them or them. It's let's honor both.
We've gotten that. We being the media here at Yavapai Broadcasting, still daily are getting phone calls and directing them towards your group or whomever they're after to donate or do whatever they can. A lot of people want to reach out. A lot of people want to do something, and maybe they're not even sure exactly what that may be. And your group, it seems like, I called it kind of a clearinghouse earlier, and I think maybe, Chuck, that's appropriate, because you've had, as we talked in our other segment, you've had contractors who want to come and help. You've had, folks that can do some things on the ground.
Yeah, the steering committee is kind of the clearinghouse. We send them down to our subcommittees who report back to us. But basically, once it gets down there, that subcommittee takes it and runs.
Yeah.
We don't have time at the steering committee level.
You mentioned, for instance, the work that we'll be doing with contractors, with the clearing of the...
As the contractors come in to work, we've got a professional builders interface, and we will be vetting these contractors so that we make sure they're reliable, they're licensed by the state. The county has been doing that on their part, but the county's going to leave. Right. So we've got to pick up that slack, and we've got the owner of an engineering firm that lives part-time there that's chairing that committee.
Okay.
And
perfect.
We have the person on the ground is actually a licensed contractor from Congress,
right?
But he comes up and is well known in our community, so he's going to be his boots on the ground guy checking. And
so you're really able to match people, their skills, and with the needs of whomever may need them, and whatever that may be. In our first show, we talked about utilities and some of those kinds of things. Power coming back on, water is good, phone lines, and all of those kinds of things. All these destroyed homes, I guess, cannot be salvaged. I'm assuming that they've been gone through by the owners and whatnot for any items inside that can be. Is that where we are? We're doing our show on the 16th of July. I want to say that. We are pre-taping it. At this point, is that the status?
kind of a hopscotch. There's some people who've done a lot of clearing. We have Samaritan's Purse who've come in to help do clearing for free. So some people have gone through their rubble. Some people find it still too painful.
Sure.
So it's kind of a variety pack, to tell you the truth. But to the extent possible, we're urging those who've lost their homes to come in and do what they need to do while the help is available to them, particularly for the uninsured, at no cost.
Right.
So that they can move on with their lives.
Now let's talk about that. Uninsured, underinsured, that's one of the first things you told me when we set this program up last week, that there's a good number of folks that are in that situation who have truly lost everything, and most of it's not recoverable. That makes a unique situation. Well, unique to a number of people. I don't even know what you would say to someone in that situation and how to help bring them back.
It's actually surprising. At our meetings, you'd expect to see a bunch of sad faces and bent over, and people are smiling. They've accepted it. It's happened, it's over. They go out, the house is burned down, okay. And they come to us, and we're able to help them get the lot cleared, and then APS is putting up free temp poles, so we'll get electricity to them. If they take a house trailer or an RV, they can move it on their lot while they rebuild. It's just been, and people are smiling, and it's like, okay, let's get on with it.
We've had people who, one of the fire department volunteers lost his home, came back to work on the fire department. The fire department has been really, really severely impacted by this. We've lost one of our key admin persons, some of our best dispatchers, and resources are just tapped. What we typically spend, we're already on a shoestring budget. I say we because I serve on the fire department board. The fuel costs, the labor costs for hours there, water costs, all of those are of course way above. We were on a shoestring before, so now, so the fire department itself is going to be desperate for donations.
Here again, there's been so much focus on the hot shots, and what they do. And you can see how it can be. You don't even think about the local folks.
Right. We've lost a third of our tax base. So this is a community of, the average age is 64, about 650, 700 residents, depending on what you're counting, full-time or part-time. Average income is approximately $16,000 a year. So we're talking about a community that's stretched thin at the best of times. And so,
I want to ask you, let's go ahead and take a break first. When we come back, I haven't even gotten to any commercial losses. We're talking about homes, but I mean, folks need groceries, folks need mail, folks need. I want to spend a little bit of time on that when we come back. We'll take another short break. Chuck Tidy, Francis Lecter, the Yarnell Hill Recovery Group, and Countywide's back right after this.
Having a fire escape plan is very important to keep your family safe and together in the event of a fire. When you awake to the sound of a smoke detector and smoke in your room, don't stand straight up. Carefully roll off your bed and stay low under the smoke. If your door is shut, feel the door with the back of your hand. Slowly open the door if no heat is felt. Always stay low until you get to the outside of your home. Always have two ways out of your house and a specified meeting place somewhere outside your home. Home escape plans should be drawn up and rehearsed on a regular basis. This could be the difference between life and death if caught in a fire.
Here in northern Arizona and throughout Yavapai County, people count on Orkin Pest Control. With over 100 years of combined experience, nobody knows how to protect your home or your business from harmful or annoying pests like the Orkin Man. To start service, contact your Northern Arizona Orkin Pest Control. In the Verde Valley, call 567-5100 or Orkin Pest Control in the Prescott area at 775-8772.
Move over, AZ. Arizona's move over law requires you to move over or slow down when you drive past any vehicle pulled over with flashing lights. Any vehicle means emergency responders, roadside assistance, law enforcement, highway crews, even stranded motorists. Ignore the law and you could pay a fine. Remember, every vehicle, every time. Move over, AZ.
Sponsored by ADA in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping. arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
No.
We welcome you back to the program. Again, it is countywide, and our guest today, Francis Lechner, is the communications director, Chuck Tidy, the chair for the Yarnell Hill Recovery Group. YarnellHillRecoverygroup.org is the website. We don't have a phone number. These folks are answering their cell phones. They're getting calls during the show. So we're not going to put that out there, but the website will give you all the information you need to get a good start on whatever you think you may help with. Donations are greatly needed, and they will be for a long time. And we'll continue to cover this after today's program, and our listeners will know very well about the recovery going on in Yarnell and what they can do maybe a year from now. We talked before the break about, I didn't even ask you about grocery stores, post office, any of those kinds of things. And if not many were damaged, certainly the financial impact on the commercial folks and the retail folks.
Yeah, we luckily suffered no commercial building loss. Everything's standing from one end to the other. However, they've lost revenue from being closed for 8 days.
Well, sure. Right.
2 of our restaurants still aren't open because they don't have the food. They have to go in, clean out. You had 8 days without power.
Yeah.
Those refrigerators and freezers all have to be cleaned and replaced, and the people are in shock. You know, but from that aspect, it's good. Our grocery store, Andy had to, of course, restock all of his frozen stuff and get the freezers fixed, and he should be opening within the next day or 2.
Okay. Okay. And again, we're taping on the 16th, so perhaps as the show airs, he'll be back going. Are you encouraging tourists and visitors? I mean, we talked a little bit about this in the first program, and that people have been, it sounds like, pretty respectful.
Yes.
But I know that small town Arizona, typically there's some tourism involved and those kinds of things.
And a number of those stores on Main Street are open. They, I spoke with one of our antique dealers the other day, and she said she did have a lot of people come through. So yes, come on in and support the business. That would be one of the best things to do, so that and it's certainly understandable that they would want to see what did that fire, how did it look. But beyond that, stop and get something to eat, buy something to eat. There'll be a number of T-shirts probably that our different groups are going to be selling to, again, to help the cause for rebuilding Yarnell.
Let's talk about that. I know that there's fundraisers that are kind of in the planning stages. We don't even have dates on the calendar and things like that yet.
Right.
But what is, and again, we're on the 16th of July as we chat, and I know there's things that maybe will come up even between now and then. But there's a lot of that talk going around, isn't there, about fundraisers and events?
Yes. Some people have already done things for us. There was a car wash down in Wickenburg that raised $12,000 is what I've been told. I haven't, we haven't put some of those pieces together yet, but those efforts are going on, and then a number of people have come up with ideas. So time for somebody else to handle that. So we've just established a fundraising committee. Our goal, of course, would be for fundraisers to take place, and we'll help promote them in any way we can, support it, provide them the logo, that sort of thing. Again, we want to coordinate it, and we'd like to see, rather than seeing 10 events happening in Prescott in October, for instance, if we can spread things out so that keeps the need alive, lets people be a little more relaxed about it. Obviously, if something's happening in Tucson, something's happening in Flagstaff, that's fine. But the idea is to, again, be coordinated, to tap into the resources that are there. We've got some great things in the works now, and we will take you up on your offer, Brad, and we'll be advertising through you, once we get some of that calendar in place.
We'll let everybody know. Is the website a good place to start to do those kinds of things?
We'll be posting them as well. We've just now, the fundraising committee just met yesterday, so they will, by the time this airs, the Whiskey Row event will have happened. Right. But we're looking forward to lots more events, and there's some that I know of that are kind of in the works for late August, early September. Right. So, and ideas for big events later on as well. I want to ask you this, and again, I don't mean to sound indelicate, but people are going to say, where's the money go? If you mentioned PayPal soon on your website, YarnellHillRecovery.org. If I do that, where does that money go, and what will it be used for? Can you help me understand that? There are 2 or 3 pieces here. One is, if a fundraiser, is established and they want, like the one for Whiskey Row, where they're going to split it between the firefighters' families and us, that's really the organizer's call. But of course, we're recommending, because it's a 501c3, it goes for the long-term rebuilding of Yarnell, and it's all under local control. That's where we would encourage people to send, those funds to go to.
Right.
And that's the one you've been mentioning, the Yarnell Hill Recovery Group. Post Office Box 1086, Yarnell, Arizona, 85362. Also, you can make a deposit right at the National Bank of Arizona, and I can give you those account numbers, or should I tell them?
Okay, well, if you go into National Bank,
go to National
Yarnell
Bank.
Hill Fire Recovery, anybody,
Yarnell Hill Recovery Group, right. Then you can deposit it
the
there.
bank folks will know. People, get concerned about that, and even, with this tremendous outpouring, I've never seen anything like it, and I think a lot of folks haven't, and it kind of continues. There's also going to be, and again, at the risk of sounding somewhat indelicate, at some point, because this is how things work in life, there will become donor fatigue.
That's
where
right.
things will start to slow down, and would that won't happen for a long time. So will you just kind of monitor progress and then do what you can when you reach that point?
Well, what we've learned in the Yarnell Community Garden Project is that if people are having a good time, they will participate in stuff, even when they're sort of tapped out. So the idea would be for fundraisers to be a great place for people to network, to get to know each other, to have fun, and to donate to a good cause.
Yeah.
So if we do a variety pack, we've had some talk about maybe doing an auction. There's a talk about a motorcycle ride, because of course there's nothing like the Yarnell Hill for motorcyclists and bicyclists. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. And Yarnell is a very creative community. We have a lot of artists, a lot of musicians.
Chuck's got a big smile on his face over here.
So, and I mean, when you've got those kind of creative minds at work, well, we could do this, we could do that.
Right.
It's like, yes, we could, but let's kind of spread it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It seems like, I know that we've seen a lot from the municipalities themselves, your neighbors, that a lot of folks have been doing, those kinds of things. I don't know if that's translated into monetary donations or not. It seems like, especially in this, social media age, there's a lot of ways to very directly kind of get to that. But I know you mentioned DPS has been there. I know police resources have helped Prescott Police during some of the big events that happened in the days, the minutes almost after the fire. Shared resources, obviously, among the firefighting crews. Are you getting that same kind of assistance from some of the other cities and towns? Have they been?
Not really. We have heard, I've heard from the Prescott Chamber of Commerce president. We just don't have anything need-wise that we need from them right now.
Right.
As time goes on, some of the fundraisers possibly in the larger cities.
Right.
But the biggest thing people need to know is when we get these funds, we're giving the neediest, the uninsured neediest first, and work our way up to the underinsured.
Right.
If you have insurance but you're underinsured, at least you have some insurance. These people, and people need to know, we hadn't discussed this, but the reason most of these people are uninsured is because the home was too old, insurance companies wouldn't insure it, or they were too poor and they had to choose between home insurance and food on the table.
Right.
And these are the people, we don't want them to slip through the crack.
Right.
Because often you almost have to pry the information out of them because they're proud people.
Yeah.
They don't want to seem greedy and, oh, come take care of me. They're like, no, I'm making it. And then like, no, you're not.
And who better?
You need help, and help is here.
And who better than you folks and an organization made up of people from that community?
Their neighbors, that's right. So who will
FEMA
know?
can't help situations like that.
That's right.
Nobody can, and that's where your organization seems to be playing its strongest hand. I need to take a break.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
We do
That's
have
all
to do that. We'll pause for just a minute, a few more minutes in our program today. Chuck Tidy and Francis Lechner, YarnellHillRecoveryGroup.org. We'll be back to Countywide right after this.
Having a fire escape plan is very important to keep your family safe and together in the event of a fire. When you awake to the sound of a smoke detector and smoke in your room, don't stand straight up. Carefully roll off your bed and stay low under the smoke. If your door is shut, feel the door with the back of your hand. Slowly open the door if no heat is felt. Always stay low until you get to the outside of your home. Always have 2 ways out of your house and a specified meeting place somewhere outside your home. Home escape plans should be drawn up and rehearsed on a regular basis. This could be the difference between life and death if caught in a fire.
Here in northern Arizona and throughout Yavapai County, people count on Orkin Pest Control. With over 100 years of combined experience, nobody knows how to protect your home or your business from harmful or annoying pests like the Orkin Man. To start service, contact your Northern Arizona Orkin Pest Control. In the Verde Valley, call 567-5100 or Orkin Pest Control in the Prescott area at 775-8772.
Move over, AZ. Arizona's move over law requires you to move over or slow down when you drive past any vehicle pulled over with flashing lights. Any vehicle means emergency responders, roadside assistance, law enforcement, highway crews, even stranded motorists. Ignore the law and you could pay a fine. Remember, every vehicle, every time. Move over, AZ.
Sponsored by ADA in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Welcome back to the program as we wrap up a two-part program today. And again, you can catch it online, verdevalleytv.com. Chuck Tidy and Francis Lechner. YarnellHillRecoveryGroup.org is the website. I interrupted you both there, but we were talking, Chuck, about uninsured and underinsured, and those are the folks that are going to be kind of up front when it comes to getting that help.
Right. It's a prioritization.
Right.
And the one thing everybody has to understand is it's the primary residence.
Yeah.
If it's a secondary home, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You've got a place to stay. Our whole emphasis is getting people back under roof.
Surely everybody would understand that.
First one is, of course, those who have no insurance whatsoever.
Right.
And then if we have funding left over, we'll help the underinsured.
Yeah.
And I really need to stress this is for people who lost their homes.
Yeah.
It's not just because you were up there in the fire and your air conditioner goes out,
right.
And you're like, I'm uninsured, replace my air conditioner. This is for victims of burned homes.
Who have really lost it all.
Lost everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me, just only about a minute or so to go. Francis, when's your group going to be done? Mission accomplished. What has to happen?
That will come from the community. They will let us know. The rest of our neighbors and friends will say, we've done it. We've done it.
Yeah.
There's a number of pieces that need to be in place, not only the immediate recovery, but then the rebuilding in terms of the water system improvement, fire department, school. We're looking at rebuilding. Well, it's a buzzard coming from the ashes is the way we're looking at it, because the buzzard is the icon for Yarnell. We have a buzzard bash every March, so that's what the logo is. It's a buzzard emerging from the ashes, and it's going to be Yarnell rising.
It's cousin the phoenix bird and the buzzard. I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for the work you're doing. Primarily, being our guest is secondary to what you're really this is about. Once again, online, YarnellHillRecoveryGroup.org. You can find a wealth of information there, and most importantly, how to donate your resources, whatever those may be. Chuck Tidy is the chair. Francis Lechner, the communications director. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. It's countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday as we tackle the hot topics and talk to the decision makers across Yavapai County. That's Countywide with Brad Miller and Paul David each Tuesday and Thursday on this Yavapai Broadcasting station.